Good evening YouTube, my name's Sean Connors and welcome back to Outsiders. This is a very quick video about how I got into gaming, which is a good question that was asked by Towerguard DM. I think a lot of people have put some great answers out there. Mine I've already talked about before, and it all started, and it's really how I got into DMing. It all started when I was about 13 years old. I was at senior school. I'm not quite sure how that quantifies in America, but for us that's round about from 11 onwards, 12 onwards. I had been there about a year or so, and a friend of mine, a guy called Andrew, said, "Listen, Sean, I think you might enjoy coming to our gaming night." I think it was a Tuesday night, and he said, "I think you'd enjoy it." So I came along. I didn't have a clue what they were doing, and he said, "Right, here's a character you're going to play." He says, "It's a bit like acting, you know, do your best with it." I later learned I was playing Caves of Chaos, and I was playing a monk. I had a great time. But after that one session, it probably only lasted 2 hours, I think, looking back, and it could only have been a couple of hours after school, I said to him, "I really do, Andrew, want to be a DM. I want to be where you are. I want to run the game next week." At which point he and the rest of the players sort of looked at me. There was like dumb looks on their faces, sort of saying, well, Andrew sort of said, "Well, Sean, you know, you can't, mate. It's not possible. You can't just pick the books up and run it straight away like that. I mean, look at the size of the books." And we're talking about the old style hardbacks. And I just said, "Look, Andrew, I know it's something I want to do." And you know what? Full credit to him as a DM, because he said there was something must have told him to do it. He gave me the baton. He said, "Here you go, take the books." So I took the books home, I read them through, and I started running games the following week, and I never looked back. In fact, I rarely played. I don't play very often. I just enjoy DMing too much. And I don't think there's anything harm in it. I think you need to know, as a person anyway, your place. You need to know what you're best at. And I know I'm a disruptive, I'm a difficult, I'm an awkward player. And that doesn't make me that great to have around. And I mean that with every respect. It's not that I can't play, it's not that I can't produce good characters, none of those things. It's just that I don't think I possess the correct balance of skills that make you an exceptional player. And I don't like being anything other than exceptional. And I know that's going to sound odd, but I like to be the best I can at what I do. And I don't like to feel that I'm not in the upper echelon. I'm sure if I really worked at it as a player, I could become a good one. It's just that I always knew my vocation was DMing. So for me, that's what got me into the hobby. It's actually part of my motivation. I mean, it's funny actually, as I look back, I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot, and it really ties into this video. I've been thinking for ages, what is it that drives me? I know I've touched on this before, and I've said, you know, I'm always looking for that holy grail. I'm trying to get the perfect score, get that 100%, get that 10 out of 10. And I never quite make it, and I'm always thinking, God, you know, look, I didn't do this quite right, or that wasn't quite, that could have been a little better, or I could have tweaked this. And then it dawned on me, really obvious, it's like one of those things you go, duh. It's Homer Simpson, really. It's only by the failings that you grow anyway. So if I was running, in my view, the perfect game, how would I ever grow? I'd be so egotistical that none of my games would ever improve. I'd never be thinking out of the box. I'd never want to try things differently. I'd never have wanted to be animated. I'd never want to go stabbing my fist around the table, getting my players to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. I'd never be creative with the rules. I'd have never challenged the players. I would have never have done any of these things because I was frightened to fail. And that's the key, is the ability to make big mistakes and make them good. And then say, yeah, I got it wrong. But you know what? That's what separates you from the average DM, the not so bad one, the good one, to the exceptional. That's what will drive you along. And I've seen this in a few occasions actually over the years, where recently, a great example as well, I'm going to use it for this video because it's a good format to use it on, I think, and I hope Towerguard Win doesn't mind me doing this. It does answer the question, it builds on it, and I think that's the whole point. I recently, locally, which is where I live, I've got some mainstay groups, so I wanted to try and get involved in a new one. And without going into too much detail, it was the latter part of last year, I got involved in the group. It was a very messy situation. It's complicated to explain why, and it'd be unfair of me on here to mention the reasons why I'm aware, but they just didn't get it. You know, they just didn't understand. I do a lot of stuff, as you guys know. I produce a lot of my own stuff. You have to, in this business, go under different pseudonyms when you produce stuff for obvious reasons. You're protecting your identity at the same time growing your business. And I got quizzed heavily over some of the things I do, and I think some people, you know, it was that classic horses for courses. My style of DMing probably wasn't right for them, and their style of play wasn't right for me. That's the way it goes. You know, I'm not worried about it. It's just the reality of it. But you grow from that. You know, these things happen and you move on. I I think, you know, probably for them it's probably better they find someone that's more in tune with them, and for me it's probably better that I find groups that are more in tune with what I do. And that's the way it goes. So even a very experienced DM like myself, it doesn't always work. We learn from that. And that is what the motivating and driving factors should be. Don't be afraid to fail. And even if you use these videos that we've created, and Wynn's a great example, some great videos, and there are some brilliant new people producing, the truth of it is that what we're trying to do really at the end of the day is give you a heads up, give you a few steps forward from where we were when we first started as DMs, and basically allow you the opportunity to grow much quicker than we did. We had to take every step, every inch ourselves, with no one, absolutely nobody to support us. Now, as a DM, I feel very supported. I actually feel by coming into the RPG community, particularly with the YouTube, I feel at this point we've got a lot of support. And as somebody quite rightly said on my channel, as a final point, that we have got validation from each other about what really works and what doesn't. Hello, Sophie. Anyway, I'll leave it for there this time. I've been Sean Connors. That's been Sophie. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. Happy gaming. Bye-bye.